good as any man.
I think we're live.
When it comes to romance,
Got a little
honey,
live
I'm
button there.
on to the bone. We can hunt all day. You can clean the game, or I can clean it on my own.
Right? So, hey, y'all, that song is available on iTunes or wherever you get your music. So check it out. That is the Shoot Like a Girl anthem. A great song. It really gives you a little energy. It's kind of like that's right. I'm a girl. I can do anything I want to do, but I still respect and love the men in my life. So it's a great song. Check it out. I am so excited today because we have Pilar with us. And Pilar, if y'all have ever been to the trailer, you've probably seen either trailer, Safe Living or Shoot Like a Girl. Pilar is one of our team lead instructors and also on our safety council. And so, Pilar, I'm going to turn it over to you because we're going to talk about healthy eating habits today, which is something that's very concerning to me because I'm trying to control my health with my diet. And so, welcome. And you want to introduce yourself to the ladies?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's just a thrill to be here. Again, my name is Pilar. I come from about a 35-year health and fitness background. Started back in the 80s, back in the Jane Fonda days of high impact aerobics, and we were all just crazy out there, shiny tights, that whole thing. And boy, has fitness and health evolved since then. So moving forward, became a personal trainer, nutritional counselor, integrative nutrition health coach. And so it's really has been wonderful to have a career like that not only benefited myself, but lots of other people. So what we're going to talk about a little bit is what does healthy eating look like? I mean, there's so much out there in the media, social media, on the news, advertisements. What does that really look like? And so in a nutshell, if you can make it super simple, shop the perimeter of the store. Get the fresh fruits and vegetables and the lean meats and proteins and the dairy. And so what this looks like on your plate, to break it down super simple, on your plate, if one half of your plate is colorful with greens and fruit, and then the other part, a quarter of it, your starchy carbohydrates, whether it's rice or potatoes or a starchy vegetable, and then just your protein, a small amount of protein. So one of the things I always suggest to people, don't worry about counting calories, just think about how much food that you eat and use a smaller plate. We don't have to be a part of the Clean Plate Club by any means, and just eat slowly, put your fork down. And this is something that's really kind of crazy, but is so true. If you ever pay attention while you're eating, when you get to the point and you sigh, general rule of thumb, your body's had enough to eat. And I can't tell you the number of people have come back to me and said, you know what, I started listening to my body. And when I took that deep breath and sighed, I put my fork down and I really had enough to eat. So that's just a little physical cue that might happen to help you regulate how much food that you eat.
That's interesting. I can say I've never heard that. I've always heard, listen to your body when you feel full, not when you feel overfull.
Correct.
But when you no longer feel that hunger pang or the call for the need of food, then to stop eating. And then also that thing where if you're not hungry and it's not mealtime, not to start shoving food in your mouth. So I got to tell you guys, we travel together a lot, right? So we're at a show and we eat places, whether it's in the hotel for breakfast or at the end of a long, hard, hot, sweaty day, and you want to order everything on the menu. When you're sitting next to Pilar, you think, should I eat the third yeast roll with a 40-pound pat of butter, or should I just wait for my very healthy salad with the appropriately portioned meat? It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard.
Right. But Pilar does give us permission to have dessert occasionally. So Pilar, can you talk about satisfying that sweet tooth a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it comes to just that, like you said, a satisfaction. You might get that dessert and you know what? Enjoy a couple of bites. Split a dessert with someone else. And you don't need to eat the whole thing. Sometimes it's just a couple of bites. And it's saying, I'm not allowing myself to eat the whole thing, but I'm going to have a small portion to be able to satisfy that little bit of sweet tooth. So we don't feel like we're being deprived, nobody likes to hear, I can't have something, or I can never have that again. You can fit those things very easily into a diet unless you've been told otherwise by your doctor or dietitian. So, enjoy a few bites, but let that be it. And it doesn't have to be every day.
Right. And you mentioned carbohydrates. One of those triangles on the plate that allowed for rices or starchy vegetables. So many people try to steer away from that, right? There's a lot of different eating methodologies out there today where that's a big no-no, but our bodies sometimes need that, right?
Absolutely. Carbohydrates are a great source of energy. And, media a lot of times in marketing has made carbohydrates the enemy. And they are not the enemy. They're a great source of energy. But again, we have something that's called calorie density. So I'll just give you an example. A half a cup of rice is a serving, which may not sound like very much. A half a cup of pasta is a serving. But on the flip side, I can eat 2 cups of broccoli or 2 cups of carrots or 2 cups of greens. And so it's the volume. I can still have it, but I need to control the amount. So all of those green leafies, and here's another way I like to explain it. If you can break it, snap it, crunch it, you can eat a larger volume. But if you squish it, you have to control the amount that you eat. So squishing, when you think of corn, peas, butter beans, all of those types of things are much starchier carbohydrate. So those are the things that you need to limit the portion on.
Oh, and not Pringles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not the Pringles. Yeah. So it's a simple way to think about that. And so if you can snap it or crunch it, you can, use those volume things to fill up with.
Can you touch a little bit on something that we also put in our mouth that is not food, but like water or other like beverages, soft drinks, other fruit juices, things like that?
Yeah. Well, think about this. Our bodies and our brain, our skin, everything utilizes water in lots of great ways. It's a great way to help eliminate waste as well. So we need to have water. There's no medical documentation that I know of, I've heard of, that tells you the requirement of water that you need per day. Everybody's body is different. But something that's pretty much generalized for everybody, if you take your body weight, divide it in half, that's a good place to start as far as ounces go per day. Things like coffee or tea that are caffeinated, because they have caffeine, they can dehydrate you as well. So you want to be careful with that amount. You need to control calories with sweetened beverages, because calories do count, and sugar, is in a lot of things, and it doesn't have a lot of nutritional benefit. So you think about, if I drink sweet tea or sweetened cola or even fruit juices a lot during the day, I may be getting enough calories in just what I'm drinking. That would be my maximum calorie intake for the day. So a lot of times when someone's trying to reduce those calories, I'll say, just get rid of the sweetened beverages and leave those out. And as far as fruit juices go, you're going to benefit more from eating the fruit, because you're going to get the fiber from the fruit, and you won't get that in the fruit juice.
Right. So one of my favorite things that you already talked about is the plate. Getting a smaller plate. So all right, everybody, it's your challenge time. So we all, most of us lose a little weight in the summer. We're more active. And as fall gets here, we start putting on weight. So if we start now eating correctly, we won't have that added poundage in the winter, hopefully. So help me remember, Pilar, this is their challenge. It is going to be your plate. Have it smaller than normal, and divide it into thirds. One half of the plate is all vegetables, things we can snap, crunch.
Yes.
Something else, not
and some fruit. You want some colorful fruit in there as well. So that one half of your plate are your vegetables, your leafy greens, things that you can snap, and a little bit of fruit, colorful fruit, berries, strawberries, blueberries, cantaloupe, the things that are in season. And then the other side of your plate, 1/4 of that are your starchy carbs, and then 1/4 of that is your protein. So you think about protein being about 3 to 5 ounces, generally speaking, for an adult, is really all you need. And that's truly the size of the palm of your hand. So it's not the chicken breast here, it's the chicken breast here. So that would be your serving size. Because portions in restaurants and even in the grocery store, you know, they're sold as one piece, but that one piece may be
not ribeye this way.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I may need to work on that, but I will tell you, honestly, in today's grocery store meat prices, it's a good time to start limiting that amount. Like, let's pare the size down to right.
That's
Very
right.
good. Hey, Christa, could you talk about our safety council? Because I skipped over that a little bit, and we want to acknowledge Pilar for what she does on our safety council.
Right. So for those of you that may not already know, and for those of you that already know, Shoot Like a Girl has a sister brand called Safe Living. And that Safe Living brand has a safety council. We've got Pilar Cobb, Tracy Busby, or T-Buzz. That's how everybody knows her, Susie Greenlee, and then we have a member at large, Stacy Bohannon, that all bring their specialties to that council in the realm of safety. They write articles. They're there to be a part of any conversations, whether it be in this zone, right? We're going to have all of them on at some point with a Facebook Live, as well as in the media, any press relations, and really be a voice between Safe Living when Karen or myself are not available, particularly within their specialty, and sharing a safety message.
Yeah, Pilar, we are so honored that you take all of your expertise and bring it to our safety council and to our members. I know that you enjoy giving. You're a selfless servant, and I'm super excited. You guys post any questions you have. We will monitor the questions and answer them as we can. And we are just excited to get on to the day. I'm going to go plan my meal and kind of divide it in half. Of course, may or may not be in an airport. You never know these days.
You never tell.
Here's one more suggestion when eating out, because you know we do travel a lot. And when we look at the restaurants that we're going to attend, take a peek at the menu, because we're starving and we're ready, or you know, you may be on the road and traveling, make a decision before you get there what you're going to have. Go ahead and make the decision. So I may even go in and say, I really want to have that cheeseburger and French fries, but I'm going to have the salad with the grilled chicken on it. So you've already made that decision. So when you go in, you're ready to order, and you're not looking at what the person's going to get next to you. That may sound really fabulous, but you're trying to really, you know, eat better. So
not keep looking over the menu. I found that personally myself. If I keep going back to the menu, I end up getting in trouble. Like I order whatever I probably shouldn't have. Well, food is a part of it, but there's also fitness. And I know we're already we're at 13 minutes. We like to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes, but let's talk briefly about the moving part of wellness. And how that can be.
Sure. Moving is very important, and we need to move our bodies every day, and that's going to look different for everyone. Could be the season of life. You know, someone may have a goal in particular that maybe perhaps they want to run a race or walk a race or do those types of things. Some people may want to just be fit for a particular sport, whether it might be shooting, horseback riding, whatever that might be. So general rule of thumb is slow and steady wins the race. We don't want to be that weekend warrior that I haven't exercised for 10 years and I'm going to jump in on Saturday and I'm going to run a 10K, and then I've either hurt myself or I'm so sore that I'm never going to do that again. So slow and steady wins the race. It's typically recommended for the general population to move about 150 minutes per week. You can divide that up however you want. Start with walking. Think about what you enjoy. You know, if it's group fitness, do that. If you like to dance, find a dance class. We need to add some resistance training in there as well. That doesn't have to be lifting heavy weights. It can be balls, bands, tubes, even in the water. Water creates resistance every time we move a body part in the water. So think about what you enjoy doing. Start out 15 to 20 minutes a day, and then just work up from there. And always seek out that reputable instructor or personal trainer that can get you on the right track, because you want them to know what your limitations may be, and they can help you develop a program just for you.
So I have to tell you guys a funny story. So y'all know my foot has been broken. I'm still in a boot. I'm recovering. I finally started physical therapy, and I had my assessment yesterday. The physical therapist says to me, "What is your goal?" And I looked at her and I said, "Well, I'm elk hunting in Montana in November, and I need to be able to hike up and down a mountain and travel about 8 miles a day." And she looked at me with her eyes so big, and she was like, "Yeah, it might be a lofty goal." And so I may have to reassess my goal just based on the limitations of my foot, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and try now. But I set the goal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I will adapt and overcome, but it was funny. Sorry, when you said that, like, "What's your goal?" Like, she was like, "Lady, you can't walk on your foot right now, and it's August." Like, my calf is like 1/3 of what it used to be. So I'll have some work to do. But there's another form. So we touched on eating, we've touched on physical fitness. Pilar, it is no longer a stigma to talk about your mental wellness as well. So what can we do to make sure that we're staying mentally fit?
Absolutely. A couple of things to think about with our mental health is something that we call mindfulness. And it's really taking a step back and evaluating where we are in our life, where our stress is coming from in lots of different areas. We may not think that our home or our career or our finances may be that stressful, but when we make a list of these things and think about where are my stresses coming from? We typically think our stress is coming from finances or our job or perhaps a relationship. So stress may also come from we're not getting enough sleep. And so that not having enough sleep can affect a lot of aspects of our life as well. So it's really sitting down and kind of doing a checklist of all of these areas in your life and see where something's out of balance. And then start to take steps of creating balance in those things. And that might come in the form of just reprioritizing some things. It may be letting some things go. For some people, it might be as big as changing a career. It may be just being able to say no to some things. I like to tell folks that no is a complete sentence and that we can just start letting some of those things go. And to understand that when it comes to our mental health, to be able to know that it is perfectly healthy to reach out for some type of help. There are life coaches out there. There are counselors there, and just find the place that you need to go to get some help.
I like that.
Yes, I like that. No is a complete sentence.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
Borrow that and use it and repeat it to myself a few times. Right. A lot of us are those yes people.
It's
yes,
not to me.
All right, just not to Karen. I can't say no to
Yeah,
Karen.
please, I need you.
No, Karen. No. Pilar, before we close out for go ahead.
And I was just thinking, our stressors in our life are different in different seasons of our life. And so we have to take that into account that, what stresses me, what was stressing me before may not be the most important stressor of my life today. And so to understand that as well. Yeah. Seasons of our life change. And so do our stresses.
Very true. Very true. Before we close out today, are there any things that you would want to share that we didn't touch on? I mean, this subject itself probably warrants multiple lives. We could probably pick them apart and come back later and share some details. But is there anything else you would like to share that we could either add as in comments, links, and share with the population as they watch this either live or in replay?
Sure. I will be more than happy to pull up some links and we'll put it into the comments when we start that. But, just to realize when you wake up in the morning, spend, even if it's 5 minutes of just some either reflection time or quiet time, whatever you want to call that, just so you can breathe and think about your intentions for the day. We tend to say we're going to prioritize the day, but think about what your intentions are going to be for the day. And then take a few minutes in the evening to reflect on how those things went. And you might over time see some patterns that might be great, or some patterns that you might feel that you need to change. So we don't start our day in a rushed and hurried pace.
Okay.
Great concept. I've been listening to a few different podcasts about motivational brands, such and so forth, and that concept of intention versus prioritize. Really, what's your purpose? And starting your day with your purpose.
Yes.
It's your first thought. It's literally your first thought, not your rush to the bathroom or your rush to your cup of coffee, but it's your first thought that drives what happens next.
That's
Do
right.
you know what my first thoughts of every day are? Well, most days. Some days the stress does override, but normally I start every day thinking this could be the best day of my life. I don't know. I haven't lived it yet. So maybe this will be the best day of my life. And I go into the day with optimism and hope, and really a confidence and faith that I know at the end of the day, everything's going to be okay.
That's
What
right.
if you changed it to say this is the best day of your life?
This is the best day of my life.
Interesting.
Interesting. I don't know. Well, we are at our time. Pilar, thanks. Hey, if you're watching this, and you don't follow us, click that follow button and click the subscribe button. If you want to go over to our YouTube channel and click subscribe, we would really appreciate that. And we look forward to the next Facebook Live. We would love to have you come and watch either real time or later on and capture all this great information that we're giving. Pilar, you are just the best. We love you. And thanks so much for being here. And if y'all have a question for Pilar or a topic you'd like us to cover, go ahead and put it in the comments, because we would love to have your input on this. Is your Facebook Live that we're trying to give you the information that you need to help you have a better life, a better confidence, and a way ahead.
Absolutely. You should be able to see this on Shoot Like a Girl, Safe Living, as well as our YouTube. And our truck will be in Cary, North Carolina this coming weekend, which is the 26th and 27th. I don't have my calendar in front of me.
Unless we're actually live right now, which I think we are. So
we aren't.
Okay. Woo. I have a little
August 26th and 27th. So we will be there then, and we'd love to see you guys.
Yep, that'd be great. Bye.
Ciao.
It's the man's world, but you can't prove it by me. Didn't fall too far, but I was the one that shook up the family tree.